Hi everyone, I'm messing around with Zoom and looking at recording, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to press record and see if I can look at today's astrology and share and all those other things. So if I can, then I've learned something. Okay, you with me? Good. Let's just get on with this, right? So apparently what I do is that, and then I do that, and then I do that. And then apparently you are seeing the wheel, the horoscope for today's astrology. Now, for those who haven't seen one of these before, I'll just briefly tell you that the thick line across the middle here is the horizon. So everything here is in the sky above our heads, and everything down below is on the other side of the planet. Now, this is set to England, to a town near me, Colville, at the moment, so it won't be appropriate for people all over the planet. The planets themselves will still be the same, but these pieces of cake here, slices of cake called houses, change according to your position on the Earth. The planets, they don't change position relative to each other in a day, except the moon, which moves quite quickly. Okay, so up in the sky, and this was at 10:15 this morning. There's the sun. Oh, you can always pick the sun out. It's the circle with the dot in the middle. That symbol has been in use for thousands of years. I mean, we're looking at 10,000, 12,000 years. Anyway, and one of the interesting features about today, because it's only today, is that, okay, the sun is in Taurus, but it is at a 90-degree angle to the moon, which is in Aquarius. And that actually is a bit that I want to talk about, because it's always the case that we can pick out these great big long aspects and we can go on about you know, the stuff that's going to happen for months or affect us in a month's time or a year's time. But what about on a daily basis? What is important day by day? The position of the sun to the moon is actually quite influential in our lives and tends to get forgotten. Because the sun is moving around all the zodiac signs in a year, and because the moon is sort of tracking that in its own way, we don't get a repetition of a particular setup with the sun in one sign and the moon in another sign for a whole year or so. So the particular combination is quite important and relative to that time of the year. So we've got the sun in Taurus, like I said, and the moon is in Aquarius. Now, what that's highlighting is what we call the fixed cross. So we've got a cross, that's a cross, and we've got, in any combination, we've got Taurus opposite to Scorpio, and we've got Leo opposite to Aquarius. And those four zodiac signs make up the 4 points of the fixed cross. Now, the fixed cross, as the word implies, is about fixedness, fixity. And these zodiac signs are notorious for not wanting to change. The most odd of them is Aquarius, because whilst Aquarius wants to tell everybody else how they should change, it rarely wants to change anything about itself. So a sun in Taurus is really celebrating nature and the element of earth, shining a light on it. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly in the UK, we are really getting going with spring, and it feels warm today, and that's lovely. And I'm dying to get out of my greenhouse. But anyway, the moon in Aquarius is saying something completely different, because Aquarius is not actually much into nature. Aquarius is much more interested in science, maths, things of a future nature, and also things with sleek, clear-cut lines. It doesn't like clutter, and nature can be a bit unruly. and you clip a hedge and it grows again. You pull up weeds and they grow again. This is all very irritating to the Aquarian nature, which just wants to look into the future and get going on thought processes and thinking about concepts and interesting philosophy. So Taurus, of course, isn't really concerned about all that. It's an earth sign. So what Taurus wants to do is to go out to the greenhouse and get you dig and plant seedlings and grow nature and revel in it, this kind of stuff. Anyway, so sun and moon at odds with each other at a 90-degree angle. This is an interesting part of the sun-moon cycle between the new moon and the full moon, because it aggravates the position of the sun and it aggravates the position of the moon. They are sort of colliding. One is trying to push each other. One is trying to push the other into a corner. And we finish up having to take actions that we didn't particularly want to take, but we sort of feel boxed in. And so we better do this. It aggravates. It's like a thorn in the shoe or a pebble in your a pebble in your shoe or a thorn in your side. That was an interesting one. Finish up with a thorn in your shoe and a pebble in your side. Never mind. So going back to that, it's an irritant which causes this action, and it's an adjusting time. There is an adjustment. Now, I've always found that people get crotchety with each other on this because the sun and the moon are such obvious influences in our lives. Their position to each other is quite important. And saying that, it's amazing how much we ignore it because we're always looking at these sexy planets and all the things they do. We ignore a lot of the fundamentals. Well, we can't cover it all, can we? Anyway, so what would be my prediction for today? So, do you know, all right, I'm just going to use myself. I want to go out into the greenhouse and I want to cut some lettuces, water some plants. Oh, and I've got some seedlings to plant. And I want to go around and water the garden because it's a bit dry. Okay, so this is all Taurus stuff, right? I'm having to sit here and grapple with Zoom and some other programs and apps. And I'm getting very frustrated and fed up, and I'm dealing with technology, and it's not my greatest thing. I'm all right with astrology, but I'm not all right with technology. And so you can see there that I'm a shining example of this irritation as these two worlds collide, the world of air and the world of earth. Okay, I hope that was useful. Let me know what you think. If I can crack this again and I can work this out, hey, I can sit here every morning and do the morning's astrology, the astrology for that day. I've got to get back into this now. And yeah, it's because I like it, but I've been writing a book, which meant I couldn't do anything. Well, the book's been written and now it's out for promotion. So I'm back on media. Okay, I hope that was useful. And see you around. Okay, thank you. Bye.